All right, my friends, we are going to continue our reading of Dark Day in the Deep Sea with Jack and Annie. And if you remember, where did we leave off just last week? What was happening on board the ship and in the ocean that we saw our characters, our two main characters, and their reactions to? So if you recall, Jack and Annie had been washed overboard, and then this giant monster, which turned out to be a giant octopus, actually helped them get back on board. And so we kind of determined that this octopus was actually not a monster at all, but a very friendly octopus who cared about Jack and Annie for some reason. So when we ended on chapter 8, we ended with the sailors having caught the octopus in a net and hauled it all the way up onto the deck. And now they were threatening to kill it. And Jack and Annie and the professor were so upset, and they couldn't figure out what to do. Nobody was listening to them. So let's continue on with chapter 9 called Think, Think, and see what happens. All right. So think, think. Where's my backpack? Jack yelled to Annie. What? Annie said. My backpack, said Jack. Oh, don't worry about that now, said Annie. We have to. The wand, Jack interrupted her. Oh, said Annie, the wand. We have to find my pack fast, said Jack. Jack and Annie pushed past the sailors crowding the railing, and they ran across the deck. Did you bring it in the rowboat? Yelled Annie. Yes, no, I don't know, said Jack. I can't remember. Think, said Annie. Jack tried to think as they ran around the upper deck of the ship. Did I have it in the rowboat? What happened in the rowboat? I felt sick in the rowboat. I held my backpack in the rowboat. I remember, Jack shouted. I was holding on to it when we first came aboard. Then it's here somewhere, said Annie. The wardrobe room, said Jack. Hurry, cried Annie. Jack and Annie, they raced down 2 flights of steps. They looked in the wardroom. Jack's pack wasn't there. Can you remember where it might be? Do you recall? Henry's lab, said Annie. Jack and Yes, it's in there, Jack cried. I remember now. I left it on the table. I put it down when I looked through the microscope. Jack and Annie, they ran up 1 flight of steps to Henry's lab. They tried to open the door, but it was locked. We need Henry, said Jack. We don't have time, said Annie. We don't have a choice, said Jack. What do you think they're going to do? What would you do in that case? Jack and Annie charged back up the stairs to the upper deck. The crew was still gathered around at the end of the deck, yelling and shrieking about the octopus. Henry was coming towards them. Henry, help us, said Annie, and she raced to Henry and grabbed him by the arm, and she pulled him down the stairs. You have to unlock your lab. We have to get Jack's pack. It's life or death. Hurry, hurry. What? Sputtered Henry. We'll explain it later, said Jack. Just hurry. Henry looked baffled. Interesting word. Henry looked baffled, but he walked quickly and led Jack and Annie down the stairs. They nearly pushed him across the hall toward his lab. The scientist pulled out his key and unlocked the door. Let's go back and take a look at that word baffled. It's one of your vocabulary words just for this, for chapter 9. What do you think he means when Henry looked baffled? Do you have an idea? Think. Jack and Annie burst into the lab. Yay, said Annie. Jack's pack was on the table. Jack grabbed it and tore it open. He pulled out the wand of Dianthus. The silver spiraled wand gleamed in the dim light of the room. What is that? Asked Henry. We'll explain later, said Annie. Come on, let's go back up, said Jack. No, we don't have time, cried Annie. Use it now, Jack. Say something now before they hurt him. Jack held up the wand. 5 words, said Annie. I know, said Jack, but what 5 words? This was their only chance. Do you remember the 5 words? Were we told the 5 words earlier? I don't know if I remember. Let's find out. Hurry, said Annie. I am, said Jack, but we can't just save him this one time. We have to make sure the ship never, ever tries to hurt him or others like him again. So Jack closed his eyes. Can You guys close your eyes and picture it. And he pictured the giant octopus. Can you see the giant octopus in your eyes? His umbrella-like body and long tentacles, the gaze of his yellow eyes, a gaze that had curiosity and shyness. And Jack thought of the sheer wonder of the octopus's existence. Stop for a minute. Imagine if you saw a huge, huge octopus. A lot of times we can go to aquariums and we can see ones, but nothing as big as what lives in the actual big sea down at the very bottom. Big, big beds. Imagine. The giant sea animal was incredibly amazing. He was like a miracle. And Jack wished he and Annie could explain the miracle of the octopus to everyone. But no one would listen to them unless, "Hurry, Jack, say the words," said Annie. "Make them hear the truth." The words had burst out of Jack. "What?" said Annie. "Make them hear the truth," said Jack, and his eyes still shut tight. "That's my wish. Make all the guys upstairs hear the truth about the octopus." "What are you talking about?" said Henry. "And what is that stick you're waving?" Jack opened his eyes. He shook his head at Annie, but she didn't see him. "It's a magic wand," Annie said to Henry. "Actually," said Jack, trying to think of something else to say. Oh, yes, I see," said Henry, and he smiled sadly. "You're pretending like children." "We are children," said Annie. "Come on, Jack, let's go tell them the truth." All right, so we're going to pause right there, and I want you to think about your vocabulary word for baffled, and look at the context before and after what was going on, and see if you can understand what was Professor Henry, and why do you think Professor Henry thought they were pretending like children? Was the magic wand really magic? We'll find out in tomorrow's lesson.